So I think New Delhi has to be very cautious in its approach. But at the same time, whosoever is behind it, try to don't see the hand, see the mind behind it. They are to be taught the lesson, not the civilians on the other side of the border or this side of the border.
Hundreds of militants waiting to cross over. And that is the root cause. And what I said early on was that please stop this militancy, stop this gun culture. We don't want that. These militants who are camping in various parts of Pakistani occupied Kashmir, especially in Neelam Valley and Jhelum Valley, the people, local people suffer. They are intimidated. They are harassed by these militants. And they are foreign militants. They are not local people. We are fed up of that. This must stop.
Here we have to go back to the root cause, and I think the only sort of solution to this entire problem is resolving the Kashmir issue once and for all. Now that's easier said than done, but that is the problem. You've got this core issue which needs resolving. India doesn't want to come onto the table. Let's just get sort of the UN resolutions. Let's implement them. And so ultimately, that is the only solution that is possible, and that would take away these factors. Now, I understand that the militancy in the 1980s and the 1990s was not there to liberate Kashmir. It wasn't. It was a strategic, tactical move by the
And we
Pakistan
suffered.
military.
And we suffered, yes?
Yes, absolutely. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that, and I totally feel for Kashmiris and the tragic situation, and as well as how we have the Pakistanis have actually undermined the legitimate cause of Kashmir, Kashmir's liberation according to UN resolutions. I don't know why you thought I would be angry about this. I completely agree with you.
Brigadier
Well,
Rahul,
can I make another point here, please?
yes, sir,
My
please go.
friend, quickly, my friend he said that implementation of the UN resolutions. If we are to go that route, Pakistan has to vacate Pakistani occupied Kashmir, i.e., so-called Azad Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. And after Shimla agreement, both have made the Kashmir dispute bilateral, which means there's no role for the UN resolutions. There's no role for even people of Jammu and Kashmir. What we are saying is enough is enough. You have messed up Kashmir. You've killed thousands and thousands of people on both sides, and especially Kashmiris. Now let's common sense prevail and let's move forward. War is not the solution. It will just cause more misery and more suffering. UN resolution, if you want to go that route, then Pakistan has to vacate that area, like Gilgit-Baltistan and Azad Kashmir. Practically, Pakistan has annexed Gilgit-Baltistan. That area belongs to me. It belongs to state of Jammu and Kashmir. It does not belong to Pakistan. So Pakistani designs are also clear that they are more interested in territory, strategic depth, rather than independence of Kashmir. If they are so worried about Kashmir or Kashmiri people, why do not they give rights to the people, fundamental rights to people of Azad Kashmir, fundamental rights to the people of Gilgit-Baltistan, before they care to talk about what is happening on the other side?
Well, if I
Brigadier
may
Rahul,
respond to
yeah,
that,
yeah,
if I
please.
could just respond to this, there are a few things that I would want to point out. One, the bilateralism of Shimla Treaty. Seriously, it's been 40 years. Has the Kashmir been resolved through bilateral means? It hasn't. So that is one thing. The other issue that he raised was about Gilgit-Baltistan. The previous government tried to give fundamental rights, and obviously it was criticized by Kashmiris because Gilgit-Baltistan was almost made into a province. Now that being the situation, I don't disagree. But in any event, whether you resolve it through the UN resolutions or you resorted to this camp bilateralism that has been going on for a very long time, that's not the issue. The issue is you have to once and for all resolve the Kashmir issue. Unless you don't resolve the Kashmir issue, you are going to have these kinds of incidents happening. And the fact of the matter is there are vested interests on all sides, which want to keep Kashmir involved. I don't deny that.
Okay, okay, on that note,
Very,
Mr. Jamilia, please.
hello.
Yes, sir, please go ahead.
The question is, everybody says we have to solve this problem, that problem. Now, please see the situation of the two countries. On Sarkri, both the countries have agreed in principle, what's to be done, what needs to be done. We couldn't even move an inch on that point. Forget about Kashmir. The question is, we will not be allowed to settle this issue. First of all, you start with that thing. Whenever we travel to come closer to Pakistan, the governments are changed in Pakistan. Recently, when your foreign secretary had to come to Delhi, immediately Nawaz was being pulled under his feet. Had we not cancelled that foreign secretary's meeting, Nawaz Sharif would not have been there. Before that, Yusuf Raza Gilani, when our Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, former Prime Minister, called him the Angel of Peace. Angel of Peace was packed in the box immediately. The question is, nobody in your country is being allowed to come closer to India because there are others. This is post Second World War arrangement in which the whole of the world was divided. Germany, Korea, Vietnam, Palestine, India. And those who divided us, they will not let their investment go down the drain. Who is going to purchase these fighter aircrafts, guns and tanks and other things? First, let us start from this thing that it is not in our hands. Anybody from Indian side also, whenever they try to settle the Kashmir issue, they were not allowed. Either governments changed or the leaders died. So the basic thing is, first let us think in a very positive way and think in a realistic way. Those who have created this issue, who are those people? Just first identify them. We go to them, please settle this issue. Pakistan is always has been always in international intervention, third party intervention. Why you want intervention from those people who created this issue? And it is not the Kashmir issue. Kashmir is an alibi. The main issue
Jawaharlal
is
Nehru created
hostility between the two countries.
Jawaharlal Nehru created the issue, not outside people. Just that can be one point of view.
Well, excuse me. These are not. This is not fact. Problem was created by Pakistan by attacking on 22nd of October 1947
No,
travel
there was an
invasion.
independent Poonch uprising. I'm sorry. I've read history. I've worked on it. I've written a book about this.
Excuse me, you are
I
also
can
speaking
assure
to
you,
an
no,
expert
there
here.
was a Poonch uprising, and let's not get into the point is blaming others, blaming a third party for what we've done. I think we should grow up now. Let's resolve the issue. Let's resolve the issue instead
Okay,
of going in
if it
circles
applies
about.
to all of
Okay,
you, all
I
of
would
us,
request Brigadier Rahul to come in. Sir, if you can just.
but can I just make a point here?
No, no. If you make a point, then I'll have to make a point.
Yeah, you want me to come in?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, the point is now, first part we already discussed the present standoff, which I think all the panelists are possibly agreeing that there should be some way out. Now, what is the way out? I mean, that is what we should look at. And thankfully,
sir.
today, Mr. Kailash Satyarthi, our great child rights activist, and Malala Yousafzai, who's a great peace activist in Pakistan, they have been jointly honored. So I think that provides us a way ahead. And what is the way ahead? How do we structure the talks? I think the Indian position is very clear that the Indian positions want that the Shimla agreement should be the binding agreement and it should be done bilaterally. Now, the Pakistan side, on the other hand, wants to internationalize the issue. So, unless the both sides they reconcile to this situation, they reconcile to whether you want to internationalize or you want to do it on the Shimla agreement. I think first point is we have to agree that what we want to, how to go further. I think this bilateral Shimla agreement, which has been much well addressed by by both the sides for many years, the dialogue has been carried out. But only at times when the friction takes place within the Pakistan political order, I find that suddenly this internationalization starts. If former Chief of Army Staff and President of Pakistan, Pervez Musharraf, if he could speak on the Shimla agreement bilaterally with Mr. Bajpayee, with Dr. Manmohan Singh, and why cannot the other leaders speak on the bilateral issues bilaterally with India? I mean, if other leaders from Pakistan have done so, there's no point in trying to going back into history, try to do the internationalization, try to do this when bilaterally both sides have achieved a lot. And let me tell you that during the 2007 period, the soft borders have been implemented. So it is not that both sides cannot talk and cannot resolve the issue. Today you have soft borders, you have cross-border trade, you have cross-border movement of the people, which is a big achievement. Both sides can do it. So my humble request to the policymakers, to various analysts, try to resolve this issue of internationalization versus Karachi Agreement. First, resolve that, and let's start with on a new slate so that we can work for peace of in Jammu and Kashmir. Firstly, very important because civilians are being harmed. It is a poor civilian in Jammu and Kashmir who's bearing the brunt. He can not only loses a life, he cannot go and do his agriculture. I mean, today is the time when you have to tend your, agriculture fields because it is a harvesting season is coming. So at this point of time, he is very much concerned about this cross-border firing, etc., etc. So I think it is high time that this issue is resolved and this action-reaction thing should be, I think, completely passed from both sides is concerned. Thank you.
So, Mr. Yasser has just said that India is reluctant to come on to come and talk about the Kashmir issue on international forum. So, your take on that, Brigadier Rahul?
You see, the point is very simple. In 1972 Shimla Agreement very clearly says that the issues have to be resolved bilaterally. Now, if both the sides' leaders have agreed to resolving the issue bilaterally, I do not see any reason why we should go back on that and say internationalize the issue. That is a point number one.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll give you a
Just a
reason.
sec. Please let me finish. Please let me finish. Then the second issue is that it is not that both countries are incapable of resolving the issue bilaterally. If both the countries are capable of resolving the issue bilaterally, what is the use of international intervention? The third point is, wherever you find the international intervention is there, that issue has not been resolved. You take the case of Palestine, you take the case of any other place, wherever you internationalize the issue, that means more stakeholders, more policy makers, more number of agencies get into the act. And as a result, what happens is those issues, instead of getting better, they get worse. We must learn from these other countries how they're not able to solve it and try to do something which I think both of us can very well do. We have a matured leadership in India now, and I'm very positive. Political leadership in Pakistan is also very mature. Unfortunately, the perception we get in India is that the political leadership is playing in Pakistan is not able to decide the policy towards India on its own. It is the policy is being forced by the military. I mean, this is the perception we are getting in India, and this is a perception we get by reading the Pakistani media. And if that is the perception we are getting, I think there is sound basis for the both sides, political leadership, matured. I think both sides, I fully give credit to the Pakistani political leadership who have been pushing for peace. But unfortunately, they are not having the open hand to deal with India. So let us get together.
May I come in? May I come in?
Just a sec, please. Let me finish, and you are most welcome after that to comment. So once both sides, political leadership decides on a course which has already been successful before, I see why there is any reason for us to go international on this issue. That is the way I look at it. Thank you.